Three-star Hutto, Texas athlete Jaden Fields is committed to the illustrious University of Oklahoma, and that is how we get rolling here on a Tuesday. This is Locked In. Parker Thune alongside Grayson Singleton here to break down the Fields commitment and whatever other nonsense might arise throughout the show. Because at this point, Grayson, as we've talked about for a couple weeks now, this was kind of the last big storyline on the calendar, at least that we knew was on the calendar prior to the beginning of football season. Fields is in. He is commit number 27. As I mentioned, Oklahoma's work in the 27 cycle at this point isn't done, but for the summer, it's sure done. Every single one of the targets, I should say, that Oklahoma hosted for official visits across May and June has now committed, either to Oklahoma or to another institution. So there's nobody that we're really waiting on that's left at this point in time. We know Fields is in the boat. He is the third safety in Oklahoma's class, and a guy that's being heralded right now across social media, across the web, as somebody that's a really underrated pickup for OU.
It's an underrated pickup, and I'm curious to see if he rises to a 4-star during his senior year, given his starting number one from his size. 6'1", 6'2", over 200 pounds at safety prior to his senior year. That should be astonishing and attention-grabbing enough. So if he can put together the performances on the field that I think matches prototypical size, which definitely influences those rankings and influences how people think about you as a college prep prospect, that'll be interesting to see how much of a riser he can be. You mentioned that he's the third safety on board for Oklahoma. They had gone 2 classes without signing 3 safeties. The last time they did that was the 2024 year, where they signed Michael Patterson-McDonald, Reggie Powers, and Jaden Hardy. That's the last time they signed.
And Boganowski.
And Boganowski as well.
Yeah.
So that was the last time they signed 3 safeties in a given class. So that's huge to be able to replenish that depth a little bit, get you some positional versatility with Bodie and with, I think, Jaden Fields as well. Jaden Fields is also a two-way guy at Hutto, going to play safety. But I like the pickup mathematically. I like it for what Fields could become, not just in college, but even in his senior year as well. And I think it solves a nice little need.
It does indeed. And Fields is somebody that, theoretically, he doesn't have to play safety at OU. There could be a little bit of cheetah potential there.
I'm curious, Parker. I don't know if you're there, but I'm curious to see whether or not he actually plays safety.
It's interesting, man. I got the sense throughout this process, and I know others did as well, that Fields would have preferred to play receiver at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think the door is open for him to play receiver at Oklahoma. Like I said, they have designs on playing him on defense. That is their full intent with Jaden Fields. I don't anticipate that changing. But if you told me that Jaden Fields goes the Reggie Powers route and winds up sliding down to that cheetah spot, I could buy that.
Sure.
I could absolutely buy that. I think there's more natural aptitude there, and I think that makes more sense for Fields than it does for either Sparrow or Scott. Like, if we're talking about which of the 3 safeties offers the most upside and flexibility to maybe shift down to cheetah and give you some snaps there, maybe not play there full time, but give you some looks, I think Jaden Fields is the one of the 3 that I'd look at the most readily and think, yep, there's cheetah potential right there.
And, I mean, even with Bodie Sparrow, too, if you get yourself into a bind, say the injury factor doesn't go your direction, Bodie Sparrow could slide down there, too. What's also curious about particularly those 2, and I don't want to leave Jaden Scott completely out of this, but those 2 have something in common, Fields and Sparrow. They also both play wide receiver.
Yes.
And why I think that matters is because if you can have safeties with elite ball skills, I mean, people say, yeah, DBs are DBs for a reason. Like, no, these dudes have ball skills. They can track the football, and they can catch the football and make something happen with it if they get the ball in their hands. I think that's big for a team where at the beginning of last year, we were talking about their inability to create turnovers. So those dudes, I think, can really help in that department as well.
Today's show is brought to you by Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno. Family-owned and operated. If you're in the market for a brand-new vehicle, why not a GMC? Dorsey Jones complements their outstanding offering of GMC vehicles with outstanding service as well, including half-price oil changes on Saturdays. So make the short drive out to El Reno and check in with the good folks at Dorsey Jones. Unsurprisingly, Grayson Singleton, Jaden Fields is our recruit of the day, brought to you by Keystone Property Management.
Oh, am I doing the read today?
You don't have to. I
okay.
sure can.
Do you have it pulled up right now?
Yes, I do. Let me tell you
go
real quick about Keystone Property Management. Looking for a place to call home in Oklahoma City or Edmond, or you need a trusted team to manage your rental investment? Good news. Keystone Property Management is your full-service solution. From marketing and tenant placement to rent collection, maintenance coordination, inspections, and owner support, they handle it all with professionalism and responsive communication. Keystone Property Management, outstanding service, every property, every time. Hit up our boy Drew England today at 405-368-1836 or visit him online at keystonepmok.com. Finally, if you want to get a hold of us today during the show, by all means do so on the First Liberty Bank text line. Send us a text, 405-651-3439. Glenn from Nashville hit us up on the text line and asked, do Fields and Sparrow play the same position? If so, who might be moved and to where? I would more readily project both Fields and Sparrow to that free safety position, Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, though, like Sparrow could play free or strong. I see him as the type of guy that could fit at either safety spot. But I also don't feel like you have to move one in order to accommodate the other, because if we have learned one thing about Brent Venables' defense over the first 4 years of his tenure in Norman as head coach,
they play a lot of dudes.
They play a lot of dudes, man, and they want to be able to play a lot of dudes. They want to have outstanding depth across the board. And so it's not as if you have to move Jaden Fields or Bodie Sparrow so that the other one can play all of the snaps at safety. No, you can very realistically accommodate both, and Oklahoma will, and they don't necessarily have to be on the same timetable developmentally and probably won't be. Like Bodie Sparrow has grown up playing safety. Bodie Sparrow is a year one guy. Bodie Sparrow is somebody you will see on the field next year at Oklahoma. Fields, probably going to be on that Michael Boganowski track. Will you see him on special teams in his first couple of years on campus? I don't question that. Might you see him situationally on defense? Yes, but he's more of a stranger to safety. He's not a total stranger, but like Boganowski, he has not primarily played safety throughout his high school career, and so there's some coaching that's going to need to occur. There's some development that's going to need to occur. There's some familiarity that's going to need to be established for a guy like Fields with his new digs there at safety before you feel comfortable throwing him out there on a full-time basis or on a heavy rotational basis in as complex a defense as Oklahoma's.
I think also something to keep in mind is how his body continues to develop once he gets to college, because it could be a situation like Kendall Daniels. And Kendall Daniels at Oklahoma State began his career as a safety. He moved to linebacker his last year at Oklahoma State when he bulked up to 240. So if Jaden Fields' body develops like that, and by the way, looked like an effortless 240 as well for Kendall Daniels. If Jaden Fields' body puts on that kind of mass to where he's in the 230, 240 type of range, you may not have a choice but to move him down to that Kendall Daniels role at some point in time. I also look at him, and this is why he's a little bit strange in a way. If Kendall Daniels did what he did and made an impact at linebacker, with Jaden Fields not being shy of contact, is there an outside chance? This is just me spitballing here. This is not me projecting anything. But could there be an outside chance that if he gets up into the 230, 235 range, they experiment with him a little bit at inside backer? Just with the way that I know his brain processes football and the way that he likes to strike in terms of contact, I wouldn't rule that out necessarily. Way outside chance, though.
Yeah. I think with me, at least from where I see it, my perspective on this is there's a difference between aggression and violence.
Sure.
Fields plays with aggression. I wouldn't say he plays with violence, though. And if you're going to play a linebacker, especially for Venables, you got to be one violent dude. You know, like if Michael Boganowski wasn't considered to be the next big thing at safety, he's somebody you could very realistically see sliding down to linebacker and working there because he is violent as all get out. Fields, to me, he's more aggressive than he is violent. I don't see the requisite violence to be able to play linebacker on a full-time basis. But again, like impressive overall athlete, well-rounded skill set. You can do a lot with a guy like this in a defense like Venables, where inevitably you're going to have a number of different guys that week to week, year to year, you want them to know and be able to play multiple positions. Chris from Knoxville says, hope you gents are having a great day and definitely better than Spurs broadcaster Jacob Toby.
Oh, my goodness.
Seen all that on social media.
Did you see that?
Ugh.
Yo.
Wild times.
Oh, my gosh.
If you don't know who we're talking about, it's probably for the best.
Nah, go educate yourself.
It's messy.
Just look up Jacob Toby on Twitter, and you'll find out very fast what we're talking about.
Messy stuff. Really messy stuff.
Hey, don't cheat on your women, man.
Don't. It's not that hard.
No, it's really not that hard.
It's not that hard at all. You don't want to be with her anymore? Just break up with her.
Mm-hmm.
Cut the cord.
No need to put nobody through that.
No. Bad move.
Yeah.
Bad move by old Jacob Toby. Don't know a thing about the guy.
I mean, it seems like it. He's always seemed publicly like a halfway decent dude.
Really?
They've done stories on him before and all that. He looks like a decent dude.
Brady in Kansas, getting back to ball here, says, with the possibility of cheetah for Fields, could this mean OU doesn't fight to flip Gash during the season? Let me answer that pretty decisively and emphatically. There is no world, absolutely no world, in which Oklahoma does not continue fighting to flip Gideon Gash unless the price that Texas Tech is willing to pay to keep him locked in just becomes so absurdly high that it no longer makes sense from a business perspective. There is a price where you have to walk away. Right? I'm not sure exactly what that price is for a guy like Gash, but Tech paid him a hefty sum to commit in the first place. No doubt there is going to be an additional investment later on down the line because Oklahoma is not going to be the only school interested in turning this kid away from his pledge to the Red Raiders come the fall. But unless Oklahoma gets the sense that we're not going to be able to make this happen without spending more money than we are comfortable spending for one player at this position, the Sooners are not going to walk away from Gash. And from the minute he committed, the mindset has always been, let's wait till this fall. Let's go win games this fall. Let's see what we can do versus what Texas Tech can do and will do. And let's see if we can change Gideon Gash's mind come October, November. There was never really an anticipation that Oklahoma was going to change his mind in June or July. But come the fall, they ideally get the chance to visit with him in person, go watch him in person the weekend of the Michigan game. Up in Ann Arbor, which is 45 minutes outside of Gash's high school in Detroit. The Sooners are going to keep the foot on the gas. They'll keep pushing. They'll keep trying to make something shake with Gash. The addition of Jaden Fields doesn't really affect that. And as we take stock of this class as a whole, Grayson, it's interesting. You can look at this group of 27 commits, and you can safely conclude that if this is the group that Oklahoma signs in December, that's just fine. That's more than permissible. In fact, that's impressive. It's an impressive class and a class that should remain in the national top 5 for the foreseeable future. But even so, there's room for 3 to 5 additional pickups at some very specific positions of need. And they're going to have to fill some specific needs for Oklahoma because they missed on Case Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
They missed on Uhila Wolfgram. They missed on Corey Laga.
They missed on Ben Kolar.
They missed on Ben Kolar as well. And so going to have to be cost-effective how you make these additions, and you may have more than a couple of 105 guys amidst whatever final contingent Oklahoma does add to this group before the December signing period. But there's a world where Oklahoma signs 32, 33. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The number I've kind of had circled for a while, and we've talked about a lot on this show, is 30. That's a safe expectation. Could it get bigger than that? Absolutely. And now that's kind of where the sole focus lies, Grayson, is figuring out who on earth might fit the bill for Oklahoma at a position where they can afford to spend another scholarship in a position where there's still room in the budget, but you're not necessarily playing the bag drop game unless it's a Gideon Gash.
Right. And even like you said, if it's Gideon Gash, you're only playing the bag game until a certain point. Then you're like, nah, we ain't going to do this. CD from Hockley on the First Liberty Bank text line. Speaking of Sparrow, how about that catch off the jet ski? Can't imagine BV was excited about that. Did you see that video?
I did see the video where I don't know how many saw the video and just didn't realize it was Bodie on the other end. But
it wasn't me until somebody had typed it out that it was him.
Yeah, it was Jackson Dart launching a pass off a boat to Bodie Sparrow in a jet ski, reeling it in. Those Utah boys having fun over the 4th.
Yeah, boats and the New York Giants haven't usually yielded the best results.
Ooh, I didn't consider that angle. That's definitely true, though. That is definitely true.
Maybe it's better this time that no wide receivers were involved?
When there are wide receivers involved, things can get real dicey. Wide receivers tend to be adventurous characters.
Shout out Brandon Ayuk.
Stephon Diggs, where you at? 405-651-3439. That's the First Liberty Bank text line. We're just getting started here on this Tuesday. It is locked in. Jaden Fields in the boat for Oklahoma as commit number 27. Back to the text line to answer more of your questions on the other side. And sooner or later, we'll start taking a quick look around the SEC at some of the 2026 signees that you can expect to see on the field for Oklahoma's opponents this fall. Some of those names may be rather familiar. Keep it here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
We're celebrating America's 250 years at Lander CDJR of Norman with 25% off MSRP on select new 2026 Ram Light Duty Crew Cab Laramie and Bighorn trucks in stock. That's a discount so big, it'll make you wonder if our calculator's celebrating America's birthday a little too hard. Shop us at LanderCDJRNorman.com or off I-35 in Norman. Bighorn stock number TN 1695555, 10 to choose from. Laramie stock number TN 192799, over 10 to choose from.
Good times are calling your name at the Showplace Theater with acts like Dave Attell, August 14th.
Right when I go over to someone's house and they got that air freshener smell, who are you fooling?
Diamond Rio, August 28th.
We meet in the middle, need that old Georgia pine weekend.
And Gabriel Iglesias, September 18th.
What if someone tries to kidnap you? Well, they're gonna earn it.
Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
Great companies don't just need capital, they need the right platform. Boyd Street Capital builds on the foundation of Boyd Street Ventures, expanding into growth equity and strategic capital. We support companies through every stage of growth with discipline, alignment, and execution. If you're building for the long term, we're built for it too. Connect with us at Boyd Street Capital, under the radar, above the crowd. That's Boyd Street Capital, under the radar, above the crowd.
No matter what a strong future looks like to you, you can start building it with a home equity line of credit. Hi, I'm Michelle Huff with Armstrong Bank. There's no time like the present to take advantage of your home equity. From home renovations to wedding expenses, vacations to new cars. The future is yours with a HELOC from Armstrong Bank. Visit armstrong.bank/HELOC to get started. Armstrong Bank. Strength runs in our family. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Summer in Oklahoma means lakes, docks, and long days outside. It also means hidden hazards most families never think about, like faulty dock wiring that can silently electrify the water around it. At Oklahoma Electric Cooperative, we believe knowing the danger is the first step to staying safe. This summer, download our free summer safety checklist and make sure your family is ready for the season. Visit okcoop.org/safety.
Hey, have you been noticing a problem with your vehicle's transmission? You do not want to wait on that situation. You need to get it looked at now. Bring it by AMCO and let their professionals check it out for you. With their free vehicle courtesy check, they can help pinpoint the problem and then offer options for repair. and financing is available at all locations. AMCO, Norman, Midwest City, Oklahoma City, Edmond, Yukon, and Tulsa.
Entrepreneurs and More Norman in South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. More Norman Technology Center's workforce and economic development team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, More Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about More Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
Relive the magic of 2006 on Saturday, July 11th, when the Cards play the Braves at Busch Stadium. That night, fans will take home a David Eckstein bobblehead presented by Mid-America Transplant. This giveaway celebrates his unforgettable World Series MVP performance and scrappy plays that defined a championship run. Don't miss your chance to add this classic to your collection. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Got a real simple question for you to kick off segment number 2, Grayson. I'll pose it to the text line as well.
All right, what you got?
Who's your favorite 3-star in Oklahoma's class? You had to pick one of the guys of the 3-star persuasion that is currently pledged to the Sooners. Who's the one that you look at and you think, yeah, he's going to be a lot more of a dude than the country seems to believe right now?
Okay, well, let's take Jaden Fields out of it
Okay.
because we just talked about him. I'm trying to give somebody else some love here. It's really hard to here's a good one. Maybe may not be my favorite, but the most intriguing is Tyson Ross.
I figured you go there. You're a big Tyson Ross guy. You've expressed that before.
Which is interesting because you told me about his athletic background that has nothing to do with football.
Mm-hmm. Tennis.
Right. Tennis. 6'4", 285 pounds at last listing on Rivals. And you combine that size with a tennis player? Meaning that he can move very well laterally side to side, but also move very well within small, confined spaces, too.
Yeah, and by the way, lest it be misunderstood or misconstrued, Tyson Ross wasn't just a tennis player. He was like an undefeated state champion tennis player.
Uh-huh.
A very good tennis player.
He was cold.
At that size.
He was cold. So you give me that kind of athleticism with that size. Look, I don't know if he turns into much of anything. We don't know. We don't know yet. But just the combination of what it takes to be an elite tennis player and then have the size like that, and I can think, okay, how can that translate to football? That might be one of their most underrated pickups that in a couple of years, he pops up and is starting at one of the interior offensive line spots and is doing so really well with a quickness, a fluidity, and an athleticism that stands out. So let me go Tyson Ross on this one.
And I mean, my answer is not going to shock anybody because I've talked about this guy ad nauseum over and over every time I get the opportunity.
Braden Howell?
I think he's a stud. No, Michael Davis.
Davis. I forget he's a 3-star.
Yeah, man. Like, all respect to Graydon Howell and Jackson Lawler and so many of those other guys that are 3-stars that are committed to OU right now that I think are going to be good ball players. But I am all the way in on Michael Davis and what he can be and what he will be at Oklahoma. Love his skill set. Think he could be a year-one impact guy at OU. I'm not necessarily placing Cortland Guillory level expectations upon him, but I think the upside is there. I think he can do exactly what Guillory and Bowen did, depending on the way that the room looks and the way it's been constructed by the time he shows up. There's potential that he works his way into a starting role even as a true freshman. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility, but you know, there is also a world where he gets to campus and it's still Eli Bowen and Cortland Guillory.
And that's where I was going, because as good as Eli Bowen is still 5'9". Mm-hmm. So is there going to be a robust market for him to leave college early? And if that's not the case, you've got now year 4 Eli Bowen and year 3 Cortland Guillory, with some other guys behind them too that can play.
Yeah, man. Jacoby Johnson could be back.
Jacoby Johnson could be back. What about Derek Johnson, who signed with Oklahoma in the 2026 class as well?
Mm-hmm. Looking really good so far. Looking really good. Lamar Morgan, man, he's going to have a cornerback room that is fun to play around with.
Do you agree with Phil Steele when he says this is Brent Venables' best secondary that he's had so far?
Yes. Yes, I would agree. I think when we look at that projected starting secondary, and if we want to throw the Cheetah Spot and Reggie Powers in there.
Sure.
You have Reggie Powers, Peyton Bowen, Michael Boganowski, Cortland Guillory, Eli Bowen. The Bowens are proven studs. Cortland Guillory and Michael Boganowski are like, yeah, they still have some proving to do, but anybody that's watched them for more than a second at Oklahoma understands how bright the future is for those guys and the reality that they are ready to take that next step, to take that leap and become not only contributors, not only starters, but impact guys in the back end at Oklahoma. So, like, I think it's the first year. I think it's the first year of the Venables era at Oklahoma and the first year that I can really recall since I joined the beat where we go into a given season and I have virtually zero questions about the defensive backfield. Zero questions that I feel need to be answered. Felt good about it last year. Felt like I thought I knew that they were going to be solid. But I feel so much better about this group going into 2026 than I did a season ago. And that also has to do with depth, especially at corner.
Yeah.
Because they are deep at corner.
They are very deep at corner. Yeah. Now, safety, that's a whole other concern. I think if I had a question about the secondary, it would be at safety. But when you look at just the starting five in that secondary, you have Dude that looks like he could potentially be a back end of the first-round pick, potentially. You've got Dude who is a very excellent college player in Eli Bowen. Peyton Bowen is the most intriguing for me because if this dude has a season like he did last, that is a high day two pick. And then Boganowski, I just can't figure out yet. I know you're really high on him. I see the vision. I see the potential. I don't know. Maybe it's just with him specifically. I want to see it. I want to see it on a down-in, down-out basis with him just because we haven't gotten that. He's an excellent special teams player, and he's been a great rotational guy these last couple years. But I don't know. I just want to see it. Yeah. Before I can put in like, yep, there it is.
Well, we know he's a hitter.
We know he can take somebody's head off.
Yeah. We know he can help out and run support. He'll streak to the football. He can be a missile in that department. What I feel like maybe I need a little bit more data on would be the coverage skills.
Bingo.
Because, you think back to South Carolina last year where guy gets behind him and he kind of freaks out a little bit, commits pass interference, which, at that point,
it's going to happen.
You got to play damage control. Yeah. You got to avoid the big play, and he did what he had to do in that situation. But, a guy like that, the coverage aspect of playing the safety position is naturally going to be the thing that requires the most polishing when you're not a safety by trade coming up.
Bingo.
And he played primarily linebacker.
Bingo.
In high school.
And to that point, the last time he played full-time defense in a starting capacity, he was playing linebacker.
Listener in Florida says, favorite 3-star? Sione Falila.
Sure.
6'2", 285. I don't know where you're getting 285. He's 310. I don't. That might be an outdated listing somewhere, but yeah, Sione Falila is 310 pounds, every ounce of it. Light enough to throw on the edge and take a guard and tackle, heavy enough to throw in the interior and eat a block. Yeah, Oklahoma's not going to be. They're not going to be deploying him on the edge. He will be Jaden Jackson. That is what he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say he's going to be as good as Jaden Jackson was. Those are very lofty expectations, but he is going to play the exact role that Jaden Jackson has played. And I think hopefully, like in an ideal world, you get a year 4 of Jaden Jackson at Oklahoma, and then he can kind of hand the baton cleanly to Falila. But Jaden Jackson might be off to the NFL after this season.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, man, you gotta figure out what comes next in the interim. Thankfully, Trent Wilson looks like a guy that's really coming along. Tank Carrington feels and looks ahead of schedule. There's a lot to like about the way that defensive tackle room is shaping up, but agree with your take on Sione Falila. That's a guy that, similar to Jackson, when he committed to Oklahoma in the summer, he was a 3-star. By the end of the cycle, he was a top 150 player. I'm not saying I foresee that type of rise from Falila, but if you told me he was a blue chipper by the end of the cycle. I could buy that.
Yeah, and mentioning the defensive tackle room, it's one of those things where now we got to figure out, can you continue to churn this factory? Because you did really good with the 4 that you've had. You had Grayson Halton get picked. You had Dominic Williams, who played great for you. David Stone's going to be a first-round pick. Jaden Jackson could be up out of here after this year. Can you keep the line moving at defensive tackle? Whenever you have to restock, that's always a very interesting time.
Derby Sooner says the answer has to be Milan Green, right? And there's a common denominator between 3 guys in this class, Grayson Singleton. It's not a hard one to point out.
Okay.
But Milan Green, Jacoby Dixon, and Elijah Harmon all played minimally or not at all as juniors. Harmon was injured.
Yeah.
Dixon was injured.
And Green was ineligible.
He was ineligible due to transfer restrictions. And so those 3 guys are kind of mystery men in a sense. Now,
sure,
the interest did not ebb away nationally in Harmon even after the injury. Oklahoma had to go to Inglewood and arm wrestle USC for Elijah Harmon, and did so successfully. And despite having no junior tape, he's still a 4-star kid, which speaks to his level of ability and the leeway that he bought himself with his sophomore tape before the injury occurred. Dixon is somebody that he did have a little bit more precipitous of a fall off in the rankings because he was a top 100. He may have been a top 50 guy before the injury. And he had high-level interest from everybody. Man, everybody in the country wanted that kid. And then his phone kind of stopped ringing after the injury. Because naturally, when you're a running back and you have a medical red flag, if you will, it's going to turn a lot of schools off. They'll want to opt for guys of comparable talent level who have stayed healthy and that have a clean bill of health throughout their high school career. Oklahoma was not worried about it with Jacoby Dixon.
Let me ask you this. Why were they not worried about it?
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
I don't.
No, that's fine. I don't want to get you in trouble. Just
no.
Curious.
Well, and it's more just like I don't actually know. Like, I haven't seen what the medicals look like on Jacoby Dixon. So I can't offer a ton of, like, groundbreaking insight there. But Oklahoma was comfortable betting on Jacoby Dixon to recapture his sophomore season form. And then with Milan Green, man, this is a kid that, like, he wound up on Oklahoma's radar, and he wound up getting the chance to earn the offer at camp because after a junior season where he didn't play due to those transfer restrictions, man, he went and lit it up this offseason on the camp circuit. Ran really impressive 40 times. Won reps against the region's top cornerbacks. Very much put himself back on the radar for any programs that had forgotten about him. And in Oklahoma's case, he wound up on the radar of a school that probably wasn't looking his way initially. But because Jim Nagy in the front office have all those high-level connections with the folks at Under Armour and ESPN and the UC Report and the people that orchestrate all of those elite camps, they were able to get the inside scoop on Milan Green being a real standout and got the chance to verify in person at OU camp last month what the measurables, or I shouldn't say the measurables, what the testing numbers and the reps suggested for Green throughout camp season in the spring.
Do you think there is a player that you're more intrigued to see what their senior tape looks like than Milan Green? Just because he hasn't played football in what would be 2 years by the time we kick off the next season?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could make a really compelling case for any of the 3 guys that I mentioned.
Sure.
Harmon, Dixon, like, what do you prefer? Are you more of a defensive line guy? Are you more of a running backs guy? Do you like a lightning rod wide receiver like Milan Green that can have a major impact on special teams as well? It's just kind of like it comes down to what your proclivity is.
Sure.
But all 3 of those guys are going to be guys that are under the microscope in their senior year, even more so than the rest of their peers in the OU class because they're a year removed from putting out any meaningful tape. And so we all kind of wait with bated breath to see what exactly it looks like. Brady from Kansas says, here's the outdated Sione measurements, and wow, they're from 24/7. Yeah, those are not current. My apologies, Brady from Kansas. TK Sooner says this is going to be the best OU secondary since 2010. Quentin Carter, Dominique Franks, Jamel Fleming, Jonathan Nelson, DeMontre Hurst, freshman All-American Tony Jefferson. Those were the good old days.
Tony Jefferson's still doing it in the league, too.
Well, I shouldn't say those were the good old days. Those were the old days. The good old days were like the true late 2000s.
Right.
07, 08, the Bradford years.
Mm-hmm.
The glory days. There's so much of 2009 through 2012, the Landry Jones era, that I've just blocked out of my memory. Like I can't recall anything that happened in the Insight Bowl.
Did you catch wind of that guy that was in you and I's Twitter mentions over the weekend about what we said about Landry Jones on Friday?
No, I didn't see this.
Okay, interesting.
What was bro saying?
I thought about replying to it, but I saw it on my drive down to Texas, and I was like, and it just slipped my mind. So this comes from one of our listeners, Kevin. He says, I get how OU fans like to trash on Landry Jones, but I was shocked at your disregard for him and what he accomplished at OU. I hope Taliaferri ends up better, but unless you are predicting a Heisman and him to win a Natty, it's going to be tough. I don't think we had a blatant disregard for Landry Jones.
No,
as a matter of fact, I usually speak more positively of Landry Jones than most people at this station, I would say.
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, if anything Grayson or I said could be construed as disrespect toward Landry Jones, let me clarify, that was not the intent. He had a very statistically prolific career at Oklahoma. He set a school record for passing yards that will likely never be broken, especially given the modern-day clock rules.
Right.
That record will probably stand until you and I are cold in the grave. But Landry Jones wasn't Sam Bradford. He wasn't Baker Mayfield. He wasn't Kyler Murray. He wasn't Jalen Hurts. That's not a hot take, right? He does not belong in the same breath as all of those guys. Good career, not a great one, statistically impressive, but that was largely because he's the only quarterback of the 21st century that got 4 full seasons as the starter at Oklahoma, which was not by design. Obviously, the first of those seasons came because Sam Bradford separated his shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, if there was one thing, we said Landry Jones threw a lot of touchdowns to his team, and he threw the ball to the other team a lot.
He also holds a school record for interceptions that will likely never be touched. So take the good with the bad, I guess. 405-651-3439. That's the First Liberty Bank text line. We got one final segment to spend with you on Locked In. Coming up, this is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Whether you're from out of town or a lifelong Normanite, Visit Norman encourages you to shop, eat, and play local this summer. Since 1976, the Mont has been serving up Norman favorites: the legendary Sooner Swirl, mouth-watering chips and queso, and unforgettable nights on the patio. Meet your friends at the corner of Boyd and Classen and enjoy a true Norman tradition at the Mont. Transform your home at Wonder House. They specialize in custom window treatments, outdoor screens, and expert upholstery tailored to your lifestyle. Discover an outstanding selection of designer and performance fabric at Wonder House, beautifully tailored for the way you live. And keep the fun moving at the Young Family Athletic Center. Dive into exciting water adventures at Westwood Aquatics and spend a great day on the course at Westwood Golf Course. There's something for every member of the family. Keep the good times rolling in Norman all summer when you eat, shop, and play local.
You ever stop and think, what happens if my air conditioner quits today when it's 100 degrees outside? That's not a problem you want to figure out at the last minute. Hey, it's Chris Plank. That's why I trust Norman Air. Whether it's a quick repair, routine maintenance, or a complete new system, they've got the experience to get your home comfortable again fast. I use them in my house, and you should too. They can also help with plumbing and electrical. Don't sweat this summer. Call the team that's been keeping Oklahoma families cool for years. Norman Air. Service to the max.
Hey, what's up? It's Grayson Singleton. For 42 years, Sooner Bowling Center has been locally owned and operated, delivering family fun and unforgettable memories. Experience the area's only true classic bowling lanes with authentic free-fall pins, just the way bowling was meant to be played. Whether you're celebrating a birthday, hosting a team event, or just enjoying a night out, their knowledgeable and friendly staff will make your event a strike. Sooner Bowling Center in Norman. Classic bowling, great people, and fun for everyone. Book your party today, SoonerBowl.com.
Buffalo Wild Wings is bringing the heat this summer with the return of the Cornhole Tournament. The third Cornhole Tournament of the summer is heading to the Tulsa area and taking over the Bixby location on Saturday, July 11th. Registration kicks off at 11 a.m. and the tournament starts at high noon. Grab your crew, enjoy drink specials all event long, and compete for some awesome prizes for first, second, and third place. Don't miss the 2026 Summer Cornhole Tournament at Buffalo Wild Wings in Bixby, Saturday, July 11th, starting at 11 a.m.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Chronic absenteeism is on the rise.
Sophia A., absent.
Julio M., absent.
These absences are often due to the absence of crucial needs, like food, transportation, and health care.
Olivia H., absent.
Preston L., absent.
But site coordinators from communities and schools connect kids to the resources they need so they show up prepared and ready to learn.
Jacob O., present.
Visit communitiesandschools.org. Being present matters.
For 250 years, brave Americans have answered the call to defend our freedoms. Wounded Warrior Project honors this legacy of service and sacrifice with life-changing support for post-9/11 veterans, service members, and their families. We help warriors access VA benefits, improve their mental and physical health, and provide them with career assistance so they can thrive for a lifetime. Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
It's the Ref, the Home of Center fans. Mark Thune and Grayson Singleton here to wrap up Locked In. Grayson, man, you got to get your hands on CFB 27 at some point soon.
You know, man, I missed the window to get that early access that you got, so it looks like I'm going to have to wait till Thursday.
I tell you, man, and this goes for everybody listening. I know not everyone listening cares about video games or the new college football video game more specifically, but it is fascinating how well the dynasty mode in CFB 27 reflects the current NIL landscape. Like, if that is something you're genuinely curious about, you want to know the behind the scenes and a rough approximation of the numbers that exist and the challenges that exist in recruiting and resource allocation at every single school in the country, dynasty mode in CFB 27 gives a very true-to-life look at it, in the sense that if you're in the G5, especially on the lower rungs of the G5, man, it's really freaking hard to keep a roster together. And similarly, if you're in the very upper tier, if you're the upper crust of college football, you almost got more money than you know what to do with at certain schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're in the middle, man, you just kind of have to look for competitive advantages where possible, and you got to pick and choose where to deploy your resources, and you got to be mindful of the budget, and you're not necessarily strapped for cash, but you also have to spend each dollar in very cautious, very calculated fashion. And so for anybody, like, I genuinely would recommend this. For anybody that's curious about what it's like to recruit, to build a roster, to build a program in college football these days, just go play Dynasty Mode on College Football 27. It is the most true-to-life, most immersive total program control simulation that you can get.
Yeah, man, I can't. I'll tell you this. So I've been playing MLB The Show a lot recently, but I switched back to playing Madden 26 just so I could get the football stuff warmed back up for when I get back to whenever college football comes out on Thursday. So I'm gonna grab that. I still have one more weekend without having my girlfriend. So Saturday and Sunday will likely be devoted to that. Exactly that.
It's how we pass the dog days before football season starts back up.
Yeah,
again,
at some point, send me your gamer tag.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
I will. We'll get a dynasty rolling.
Let's do it.
Got to get a few more folks looped in, but we'll get it going. I wanted to take a brief look ahead, and this is something we'll study in a lot more detail throughout July because there's just not all that much that's pertinent to OU that we'll be able to talk about, but It provides a good opportunity for us to kind of examine the rest of the SEC and how they're recruiting in 2027, but more immediately how they recruited in 2026 and some of the true freshman superstars that Oklahoma could see this fall. And there are three teams that really jump out to me, Grayson, that have true freshmen in their class at important, conspicuous positions where Oklahoma they appear on Oklahoma's schedule, and those guys could make a dent against OU. The type of guys that you might not know their name now. Maybe you do because there's history between them and Oklahoma, but you will need to know their name when they show up on the schedule on a given Saturday in the fall, and it's Monday of game week, and you're trying to get a study and get a read on the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
The Sooners go to Ann Arbor on September 12th. Grayson, Michigan signed the number one running back in the entire 2026 class in Savion Hyder.
Yep. Kid's cold, isn't he?
He's good.
Isn't he tracking to be their RB1 too?
It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. That is somebody who, and you never exactly know how quickly it's going to click for a true freshman. Some guys just walk in on day one and they're different. I mean, you kind of knew it was going to happen for somebody like Jeremiah Smith, but you want to pick an OU example, for instance. Like I know some people had higher expectations than I did for Michael Fasusi, but even as a former five-star, what he was able to do in year one at such an important position as left tackle in the SEC, mind you, was incredibly impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But Savion Hyder is one of those guys where it's hard not to cultivate the expectation that he's going to be contributing significantly from the jump.
Yeah. That Michigan team is interesting, too, because they're also banking on a lot of development from the quarterback, Bryce Underwood, as well.
Oh, gosh, man. I forgot about this. Great point from Slim Brady. Michigan also has the number one running back in the 24 class.
Taylor Tatum.
Shout out to Taylor Tatum. And he will be playing safety for them. Oh, gosh,
What
man.
are the odds he starts at safety?
Oh, it's zero.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna play there. But it's fascinating, man. I saw an Instagram post a couple weeks back where it kind of ran down the number one running back recruit in each of the last 10 or 12 classes. And every single one, to a man. It's like that graphic where you have the three snipers looking around the corner and the guy in a clown suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Taylor Tatum in the middle of all of them. The one that didn't pan out hasn't panned out. Maybe it still will for him. I'm not really sure how with the position switch. Gosh, what a bizarre deal that was.
Yeah.
Because, man, he played at OU as a true freshman and wasn't half bad. He had ball security issues, but when he had the ball in his hands, well, it was a double-edged sword.
Uh-huh.
Either he was making a big play or he was turning the ball over.
Right. I mean, granted, in his defense, if he's going to translate to safety, at least he knows how to get the ball out from somebody because it's happened to him.
When we're looking at Texas and that matchup between the Sooners and the Longhorns that's always on the second Saturday in October, obviously he's not going to start, well, barring injury. But I firmly believe that in the 2026 class, Steve Sarkisian signed his most talented quarterback prospect to date in Dia Bell, son of NBA veteran Raja Bell, a name that you may recall if you are of a certain age. But Dia Bell was a five-star. That dude's a stud. He's probably next up at Texas. Like, I would take him over KJ Lacey to be the Longhorn starter in 2027 once Arch is presumably off to the league. It does, and I don't know how long Sark is for Texas. I know there have been a lot of rumors, a lot of discussions in that regard. But if Diabell is around at Texas for the entirety of his college career, OU will have problems defending that guy. He is very gifted. They signed a 5-star edge from the state of California, flipped him from Texas by the name of Richie Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, similarly, is somebody that you will likely see on the field in the Cotton Bowl. But I think the best pound-for-pound football player that Texas signed was somebody that, and he's not a nobody. He's a high 4-star guy, not a 5-star, though. Didn't get mentioned in the same breath, oftentimes, as Bell and Wesley and a couple of the other highly regarded guys that the Longhorns were able to nab last cycle. But anybody that lives or spends time down in the Houston area and pays attention to the high school football ranks down there can affirm this. Jermaine Bishop, if you don't know that name, get to know that name, because that dude could be an enormous thorn in Oklahoma's side for the next few years. Jermaine Bishop is one of the most gifted all-around football players I have ever laid eyes upon. And it's crazy. He is, I think the Travis Hunter comparison is more appropriate for Jermaine Bishop than anybody else. Again, it's not a perfect comparison because there's only one Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter, coming out of high school, was severely physically underdeveloped. He was like 160 pounds.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But he was just so good at everything. And that is the Jermaine Bishop experience. He similarly is not much more than 160 pounds, but everything just looks so easy for him.
It looks easy, and, you know, when we talk about these recruits, a lot of what you and I go back to is how they move, right? Like, because you can tell the guys who are going to be just a step above based on how they move. Like, do they move differently? And he just looks like he's just skating along, you know, just in and out of breaks, no matter if he's chasing somebody, if he's just right. Like, it doesn't look like his feet are hitting the ground. It's just like, yee. Like, that's how he moves. It's a weird thing, but, I mean, if there's a guy that's going to be that good at that size or lack thereof, I mean, shoot, man, you might be looking at him.
Yeah, and to be clear, he's not small height-wise. He's about 6 feet tall. Just very, very skinny. Very
skinny. But also very physical, though.
Mm-hmm. He plays like the biggest dude out there, even though he's the skinniest dude out there.
He ain't scared of nobody.
He's a really fun football player, man. Yeah. The day that he committed to Texas, I saw that news, and my first thought was, oh. Not going to be fun for Sooner fans the next few years.
Would have rather had you at Miami.
Yeah, watching Brent Venables and his defense try to contain that guy, because he is going to play wide receiver for them. He played wide receiver and defensive back in high school. Could very realistically have played either one at the next level, but it looks like Texas is going to have him focus on wide receiver. Maybe you see him on defense at some point, but going to start out at wide receiver. And then Texas A&M. 3 guys, 2 of them at wide receiver, one name Oklahoma fans will know because the Sooners were involved with Jaden Warren out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
He committed to Houston initially. A&M flipped him down the stretch in the cycle. Him alongside another really tall, really impressive specimen at wideout in Aaron Gregory from the state of Georgia. And then their top signee last year was 5-star cornerback Brandon Arrington.
Was just about to ask you about him.
Out of California. That kid is one of the fastest players in the entire country. Ran like I think his 100-meter time as a junior in high school was like 10:08. Yeah, like
wow,
like ungodly fast.
Wow.
And similarly, could have played either side of the ball. Oklahoma was actually recruiting him as a cornerback. I want to say they made his like final 6, final 8 before he cut it down to 4 or 5 and then committed to the Aggies. But OU was involved with Arrington for some time. That's somebody at A&M that is going to be on the fast track to a significant role on the defensive side of the ball. He comes in with the highest of expectations, as well he should. Number 1 cornerback in the class, if I'm not mistaken.
Number 8 player nationally.
He good.
Yeah.
And he fast.
Yeah.
honestly one of those guys where maybe you're glad he's playing cornerback instead of wide receiver, because he'd be a handful to cover.
Uh-huh.
All right, folks. It's going to bring us to the end of another adventurous installment of Locked In here on a Tuesday. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, running back with you guys. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. The Rush is coming up next. Teddy and Tyler on the other side. Keep it right here.
Football, you love it.